Neverending Chain by Dragon Translator. Chapter 109. I don't understand. Alpha, Gita began, her voice soft, and she tried her hardest to hide the confusion she felt. She knew what Hiccup would do, what he would ask, if he ever even thought she was concerned about that bewilderbeast, who simply bowed its massive white head and dropped back into the sea after Hiccup backed Astrid's order for him to leave. She knew Hiccup would want to know what bothered her. He had already told every rider that they were to no longer hold things in that could fester. Yet, Hiccup could not know. Not right now. Stoic did not want the path told. Even with all the changes, Gita could not see how Hiccup could avoid finding out about his mother. Gita also knew that bewilderbeast was the alpha Valka now followed. Unless something was extremely off, there had been only 3 known bewilderbeasts in the entire How to Train Your Dragon franchise. The one at Valka's sanctuary, the one under Berserker Island, and the one controlled by Drago. Drago's was a grey colour, whereas this one was white. The one under Berserker Island was presumably female, considering there was an egg involved. This one, male and white, fit the one in Valka's sanctuary. Sadly, though, his words, his actions, were stark contrast to the way he behaved in the second movie. A polar opposite of how Valka described him. Gita had no idea what possessed the bewilderbeast to say those words. She would love to find out. May my son and I take a flight for a bit? Gita asked, turning to face Hiccup, who was still surrounded by the hatchlings. So much for the babies listening to no one. Sure, Hiccup said, though the look in his eyes told Gita he knew she was upset over something, and he would seek her out later to find out. Gita sighed, but moved around the hatchlings. Shadowfire lowered until his belly touched the rocks, and shifted his leg out. Gita climbed into the saddle, securing herself by rote rather than actually thinking what she was doing. She saw Shadowfire bow to Hiccup, and remembered to bow to him as well. Toothless's sister still needed convincing that the human who gave her forgiveness, even with her repeated insults, was the chosen leader of the nest, after all. Shadowfire then stepped to the edge of the cliff and dove off. He caught an updraft and gained altitude. Powerful flaps of large wings had them rising until they were nowhere near as fast as Toothless, or even Stormfly could. Shadowfire was not built for blazing speed. His greatest assets in the air being his ability to fly for long distances without tiring, and the fact that only stray tornadoes or rocks flung from catapults and hitting him directly could knock him from the skies. Mum? Shadowfire began as they were far enough from the island that it was a small speck on the horizon. That was him, wasn't it? I believe so, son. Then, why? If he thinks that about humans, why let Valka stay in his nest? Gita sighed. I don't know, son. Can we go ask him? Gita ran a hand over her face. If we do, Hiccup cannot find out. He is not happy with that dragon. I'm not happy with that dragon right now. Then maybe we shouldn't go speak to him. Shadowfire said, You become a bear when you're grumpy. I beg your pardon. Well, you do. You got really grumpy at that tiny ice spitter that tore up those things and got Frost in so much trouble. You almost roasted that teen alive when he tried to break my wing back when I was a fledgling. Gita grunted. He was lucky his father got him to let you go. Shadowfire chuckled. He flew along for several minutes in silence, then sighed. Mum, we have to tell Alpha and Stoic about Valka. I know, son. I'm waiting until that terror gets back. With everything that has changed, I can't be sure she's even still there. And if she is, then we will tell them both. And hope both forgive me for not telling them before. Us, Mama. No, son. If it comes down to it, the blame will fall upon me. I'm the parent. You, Frost and Pale, are the children. That know as much about her as you do, and had similar chances to speak. If you face a punishment over this, we will as well. We are a flock, Mama. Gyda patted her son's neck. Silence fell until the dragon shot up from below and shifted to a hover. Shadowfire quickly hovered as well. Gyda blinked. Another Night Fury? Where did you come from? The other Night Fury did not look at Gyda. Green eyes focused upon Shadowfire, and every hair on the back of Gyda's neck rose. She lifted her hands away from the saddle handles, fire and lightning coating both at the same time. The Night Fury did not heed the warning. It screeched something that had Shadowfire's horns flaring. Where is who? Do Vikings always argue over small things like that? Shadowfire asked from Stoic's shoulder, as the man left the den of the human called Anger. "'Tis not a small thing," Stoic said, making his way along a worn section of the ground that looked like the winding water Hiccup called rivers, except the ground was brown instead of blue. But all animals mate and have hatchlings. Sharpshot said, "Why was that Anger so mad that his lumbering creature is having hatchlings from another human's lumbering creatures?" Stoic chuckled. "Those be acts, and they be Agar and Tagger's livelihood. Both men use the calves for barter when we have a surplus, and Trader Johann is in port. Both men pride themselves on having a pure bloodline they can trace all the way back to the time 4 we Burgians found this island. If another male gets with a female, their owners not be knowing who the offspring be, and who be holding the rights to the trade." I still don't understand. Dragons don't keep our food like you humans do. We just go hunting for it. "You not need to understand, my son. I didn't understand half the complaints I be getting. Just know it be important to the man. Since you and Toothless will be with me boy for the long haul, you can help him when chief in me stead. So, please, be remembering this, and how I handle it. You will have to tell Hiccup when he gets back." Stoic stepped into the thing Hiccup called a bridge, and seemed to be only way for the humans to reach a different part of their territory, before the dragons were allowed to live in the nest, and some humans ride them. They were met by Gobber, as the funny man ambled across the same bridge. "Chief, the council and the dragons be in the great hall." Gobber said, "Thank you, Gobber. So, Sharp, want to come to the meeting? As Hiccup's brother and my third boy, you have the right." Sharpshot purred. "Yes, please." End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed this one. I like this one again. They're having that debate about Valka, which is very important, and oh, that Night Fury's trouble, but it's kind of fun to read. I kind of like it when the bratty characters get comeuppance. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified for whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye, my guys, gals, and non-binary pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care.